imagine if everyone did that? If everyone let their true, creative expression out? I mean, the entire world would look so different. So I think it's part of our job as artists to, encourage other people to do that.
Hey, Carrie, so glad to have you on to the Inspiration Place. I love your artwork. Tell me about what's behind you.
Thank you. So I painted the walls on my house. They had little blemishes and I didn't want to repaint the whole thing and I couldn't match the color right. So I just decided to, anywhere there's a blemish, I painted flowers and it just sort of spread throughout the whole house. So
inside your house, is that right?
Yeah. Yep. On the wall.
This is awesome. I started every time I get bored in my own house, I paint either a piece of furniture or I call it doing mischief. This started last year after I found out that brown furniture was no longer in style. So apparently hasn't been in style for a very long time. I'm just an old lady. I figured this out.
Yeah.
So when we were selling our house, they told us, people don't like that anymore. And so after our house sold, I started painting the furniture.
Nice.
I know.
I love doing that.
I just haven't stopped. And now that I'm in the apartment, it's still happening to me. Like the other night, I actually painted the inside of my front door like a bright sea green.
Nice. I love that.
So tell me where you started painting inside your house.
Yeah. So I like that you call it doing mischief because I always describe my home as it looks like someone left a child unattended with paint or markers. And I just started coloring on all the furniture and all the walls. So yeah, it started with, there were just little nicks and dents in my home. And I just decided to cover them with flowers. Anytime I saw something imperfect, I would just cover it. And it reminds me of that Japanese art of filling cracked pottery with gold.
Wasabi.
It's kintsugi or something. I'm saying that wrong. But yeah, so it's like highlighting the imperfections. So that's what I started doing. And I painted my tables and the outside of my house and the outside of my doors. I couldn't stop. Once you start to see like a possibility everywhere for a little paint.
And you can always paint over it if you don't like it. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Yeah, it's super fun. I started painting on the outside of my house on little roses on the beams, and I painted words that I call the pillars of creativity. So words like persistence, hope, faith, joy, resilience, all those on the poles downstairs. So yeah.
I was inspired. I did see on your Instagram feed, like one of, I don't know if it was your house actually, or your sister's house where the ceiling was painted. Is that right?
Is I don't know. I don't know.
How many ceilings painted like with the roses on the ceiling?
I have them just on the walls. Yeah, I don't have them on the ceiling.
That would be a good idea, isn't it? Why do I think I saw that? It must have been a dream. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's another artist painting her ceiling that
maybe I'm gonna do it now.
Right, it's a premonition.
Yeah, exactly.
Roses on the ceiling, and I was like,
oh, I know what you're talking about. My best friend from childhood. I have a wallpaper line with Murals Your Way. So she took one of my painting designs and she had it adhered to her ceiling. So yes, there's giant roses. It is so beautiful. It turned out incredible. So
amazing. I was like, oh my gosh. And actually that's really in right now is either wallpaper on the ceiling or painting your ceiling. Like it used to be the statement wall and now it's the statement ceiling.
Yeah. And she has a ton of windows in her space. So she had no options really for my wallpaper. She really wanted to use it in her office. So she put it on the ceiling. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So I saw that and I like that is so inspiring. And when I moved into my apartment, it was very colorful, but when the people moved out, it wasn't my taste. And when the people moved out, there was all the ghosts of where their artwork was. So we had to repaint everything. And I couldn't make decisions because the colors of the apartment, they were like the dining room was completely orange. The living room was completely yellow. So I couldn't see any other color. So I'm going to start blank slate. I'm going to paint the whole apartment cream. But now I've reached the point where I'm dying of boredom. on this cream color. That's why I painted my front door. Now I'm like, what's next?
It's so fun. I know. But the white or cream makes a great background for all your art. So that, at least you have your art.
That's true. Yes, it does. But I'm still bored by it. Like my hallway. No, I want like Carrie Schmitt roses on the whole, I mean, not in your style, but my style, like I'm
right.
do the whole thing and paint vines on the walls and everything.
Yeah, I know. It's like we have to remember to have fun. I feel like adults can get so serious in their design, and it's just like, just have fun and play. And none of it's permanent. Like you said, you can paint over it, but I think we've forgotten kind of that element of just fun,
Okay, so I have a confession. I used to do this in college, though. Paint on the walls.
You did? So did I in my rentals.
You too? Yeah, I did too. That's in so much trouble.
My roommates were so mad at me.
So one of them, I like moved out without painting over it, and my roommate had to paint. And I guess she forgave me. I'm actually getting together with her this Saturday, the first time, and it wasn't even good art.
Well, it was the only thing I painted in college was a wall, and I used like fluorescent paint, and then I had like black lights, so it was lit up at night.
No. The first one I did, it wasn't even cool. I used to drink a lot in college, so that I will blame that. But I think I drew Ernie and Bert on the wall.
They're legends. I love Ernie and Bert. That's awesome.
That was one dorm room. And then another dorm room I lived in an apartment, and here's the crazy part. I didn't even paint my own walls. I painted the apartment across the hall from me.
Oh my goodness. We were probably very similar in college.
I mean, I didn't do it without their permission. They actually did it with me, but I gave them the paints. Oh, this is a great idea. Let's do this. Of course I'm doing it. It's not my apartment. It's your apartment.
Exactly. Actually, that's kind of brilliant. Oh my God.
You a rebel, Carrie?
Yeah. I mean, I did the weirdest things in college. I would go to thrift stores and buy like curtains and sheets, and I would staple them into dresses as I was like wrapping them around. Because I was too impatient to sew, and I wanted it done like immediately. So I would staple stuff around me, and then I'd go out at night. I don't know what I was thinking, but yes, I think I was a little rebellious.
But when I was a senior in high school, I had to meet my freshman year roommate, completely different roommate. I think I kept roommates for long for all these reasons. No, they still love me, but my freshman year roommate, I had to meet her at her job in New York City, which was IBM. So why did I think that wearing my own hand painted sweatshirt and matching sweatpants and sneakers that were all painted with my flowers on them, I thought that would impress her. But I went to meet her, and she's wearing, so this is in 1986, she's wearing a silk blouse with shoulder pads, this is IBM, and like Ann Taylor, and here I am meeting her at her corporate office in my hand painted sweatpants.
We were like soulmates. We would have been great friends then.
Artists do. That's why I talk about in the book Artpreneur about embracing your inner weirdo. So
yes.
Reading my book, did you relate to that?
Totally. I feel like this is a lot of my personal work now is really embracing my inner weird, and I'm attracted to other people who are doing that too. So yeah, I'm actively working on really embracing who I am in that way. It's really important, I think, as a practice, as an artist, I'm trying to go deeper and deeper into that every day, for sure.
Right. I think I had it right when I met my roommate wearing the painted sweatpants. The problem was I got embarrassed once I saw her because I thought there was something wrong with me. Instead of just saying, nope, here's my freak flag and I'm following it right over my head. I was like, oh dear.
Yeah. And can you imagine if everyone did that? If everyone let their true creative expression out? I mean, the entire world would look so different. So I think it's part of our job as artists to, encourage other people to do that.
Exactly. I mean, that is what made me so miserable in college and my young adulthood, was trying to suppress all that. I didn't get into a sorority. Like, who cares? I didn't belong in a sorority, like that's not
Right.
where I belonged. So instead of like really, and the times when I've been happiest in my life is because I hadn't been trying to conform to a mold that I didn't fit into.
Yeah. And when we do that, it definitely gives other people permission as well to do that. And so many women I meet today in their 40s and 50s are just trying to even remember who they are, when they really let themselves be creative and expressive. And a lot of that is diving into that inner weird and really embracing it.
It is a big deal, especially for women, when you spend your whole life putting yourself on the back burner and you don't really know who you are anymore.
I agree. And I think, making art is a great way to find out who you are, and gives you the courage to express it ultimately. So like little baby steps, but you get there eventually.
So Carrie, where can people find you?
So I am at carrieschmittdesign.com, and I'm on Instagram at Carrie Schmitt. I wanted to tell them how much I enjoyed your book because I've been doing this for 14 years and I'm learning so much from it. So, you do it long enough and you think that I know this game, but no, I don't. So I just want to say that it's helpful to whether you're beginning or someone like me who's been in this game for a long time. I just really appreciate how you break it down really clearly and concisely, because I think it's easy to get lost and there's so many different things to know and learn and things are always changing. So I just appreciate you bringing it, kind of recentering me and what works, what's important. My students are really enjoying it, people that are just starting their art journey. So I just thank you for making it a little easier for all of us, so we can just paint and we can make and not have to do all the research.
What was your biggest surprise reading the book so far?
I just really appreciated how you broke everything down. It made it feel doable. I think it made it less overwhelming. I kind of need someone to organize thoughts and ideas for me. And it says it's a step-by-step guide, and it really is. It's just something that I'll have to reread over and over again. So I definitely marked pages, underlined, but it's something that I would refer to often, especially if I'm feeling a little overwhelmed or lost. I'm always learning. There's nothing really quite like it on the market. So, and of course, I resonated with some of the moments where you were saying like starving artists think this, and I find myself thinking those things, even though I don't consider myself a starving artist, but I still have those negative thoughts. It's a good reminder to rewrite a more empowered belief. I think you're really good at that. I love the quotes that you used and the personal stories. So it's a good read. So I appreciate that.
Well, thanks so much. I'm a huge fan of your work as well. All right, my friend. So if you want chapter 1 of the book for free, you can go to schulmanart.com/believe. We'll put the links in the show notes, wherever it is you're watching. Or you can skip all that. Just go buy the book. Artpreneurbook.com is how you can get your hands on a 12-part art journal experience with me, where I take each of the chapter titles and I create an art journal page so you might learn a few techniques, but you'll definitely get some behind the scenes content with that. All right. So that's it for today. And until next time, stay inspired.